Welcome back to the Rev Mel Show with my wonderful distinguished guest, Lenora Ma'ma. And we've been talking about a little bit about spirituality and about, she was going to talk about bullwhips. And before we start talking about bullwhips, I guess in the chat room, you guys are wondering, you want to see her feet, right? What shoes she's wearing? You know what? No, cameraman. No.
You're gonna milk it.
We're gonna milk it. Okay, what we're gonna do, you know, we're gonna see how many people in the chat room says boots and how many people says high heel shoes.
Or slippers.
Or slippers, yeah, because we know that.
Or thongs.
Thongs.
Could be anything.
Okay, you ready? Let's go. Ready?
Make sure that.
DJW says boots. Imp says boots. Arizona Rope and Tide says boots. Robert says boots. Mistress Topaz, hello. She said heels. Boo Boo Bunny says bunny slippers. Peony says boots. Footman says boots. Wifey says boots. And Sage says she looks great in anything.
Oh, we like Sage.
And we want to say hello to everybody. If you are watching the show and you are not in the chat room, please right-click the chat tab, go into the chat room because it is happening. Get your popcorn, butter it up, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. But come on in the chat room. We have Elysium, we have Arizona Rope Tide, we have Mackie, we have Robert, we have Wifey, we have Boo Boo Bunny, we have Mistress Topaz, and we're trying to get you down here. You know what? She's moved to California. She needs to come down here. She can sleep here in the studio, and I've got toys to give her and things to give her. We got to get her down here. She donated. She did a donation to TSR Network. She donated a certain amount of money. I want to thank her. Thank you so much.
Oh, I wants to see my whips. I didn't bring my girls. I'm so sorry.
Warmhead, Footman, Mac, DJW, Sage, Master Greg. Sorry you're feeling sick. Master Greg has the flu. Is that Penny? P-E-E-N-Y, Penny. And oh, Miss Caddy. Miss Caddy, welcome. Miss Caddy has a show which is tomorrow night. She is the co-host, and it's called Desktop with Sir Nick and Miss Caddy. So they have a show tomorrow night, and they air their show at 8:30 at night. I think it's 8:30. No, 9:30 at night. Well, she'll tell you the right time. But she's got a great show. She does a whole thing just for submissives. So submissives call in, they answer questions, they talk about submissive. And Sir Nick, believe it or not, you're not going to see Sir Nick in any flamboyant mohawk or anything like that. He's in a business suit. He sits behind and he operates it like, we are going to talk about DOMs and talk about the BDSM lifestyle. It's a great show. You guys don't want to miss it. It's a new addition to TSRnetwork.com. Woo! Let's see who else. Oh, people are coming in and out. So, you expressed the fact that you did not get the same feeling when you bottomed. How long did you, were you submissive or did you just bottom? Were you a switch?
I wasn't a switch. For me, it was just sex. It
Sex?
had everything to do with the bedroom, but we brought it, let's see, how did that go? We wanted to do fetish accessories, leather accessories for the fetish community. And we did some gorgeous stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not wearing any of it, but we dealt with it in exotic skins, and our factories were in Fort Worth, Texas, so I spent a lot of time in Texas. Texas. And the stuff was beautiful, chest harnesses, cuffs, collars, jewelry, some of the jewelry that I do wear.
They want to know where you got your belt.
Oh, that's not, I didn't make that. I have no idea where I got my belt.
They said
I
that
shop,
belt
my middle name is Shopping, so I shop everywhere, and I often don't remember where I shop, but I can say Shrine is great as far as LA, and in Arizona there's some, I'd have to think about that. I'm probably not going to remember, and there are a couple of good places. Fascinations is one, but there's another place in Phoenix where you can shop. But I digress. There was something that you were asking me, and I totally forgot. I'm having a moment.
Oh, because I got into their boots. You were talking about being a bottom and starting the business together.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't a psychological thing. We did not have a DS relationship. In fact, Alexander never even approached that with me. I didn't even know that existed. as that point, I was not in the scene, in the BDSM scene per se. So she said, well, if you want to go into this business, we have to start going to conventions, and I did. And I did go with her, and she said, look, you've got to be cool. Whatever you see, you've got to be cool. I said, I'm cool. No worries. We walked into the convention, and there was flogging going on, and she looked at me, and I said, I'm cool. And there was spanking going on. Cool. And then I walked into the auditorium, and we sat down, and I couldn't see what was going on the stage, but I just saw there were guys standing in front, and there was somebody standing in back of them with gloves on, and I couldn't really understand what was going on. There was like a carousel behind them, and then they had big screens where they were showing what was going on, and at the point where the vision came on the screens, what they were doing, everybody was quiet at that moment. And at that moment, they were putting the hooks into these people's backs. And everyone was quiet except for me, who screamed, "Oh my God!" Poor Alexander dove underneath the chair.
Welcome to our world.
And from that to go to being her assistant, and it was fantastic to watch her over and over again. I watched a long time in all of the arts before I was trained or did anything. I watched, and I would recommend that for all tops, to just cool your jets. I know you want to be large and in charge, but if you just sit and watch and pick somebody, or more than one person, pick the people whose style you feel resonates with you and watch them. And then maybe go up to them and ask if they would teach you something. Then get training. Then go into maybe playing. But take your time, because I didn't know that's what I was doing. But now of course I do needle play, and I didn't know that I was being smart. I didn't realize I was a dominant until Alexander was playing me against her then slave. He went to hold my hands, and in a split second, I shoved his hands behind his back, and I began to bite and claw the shit out of him, and I flew. Oh my God, did I fly? And his screaming, and just me feeling my nails just digging into him. I know that Alexander was wailing on me. She was taking, that was her moment, because I really wasn't very much, I wasn't a heavy bottom at all. I was, as I say, I was a lousy bottom. But then she could do anything she wanted, because I was not feeling a thing. My focus was totally on the person in front of me, what was happening. And it was at that moment I realized I'm a dominant, and Alexander did too.
Wow.
And gave me a book, The Art of Dominance, and started me off. And then when we went our separate ways, I started I came back to LA, and I started going to the Lair and other places and watching for a long time, and then I slowly started to train.
And who was your mentor?
The channel that Lindsay Lohan even.
Yeah, let's talk about Bruce.
My wonderful Bruce, crazy Bruce, 6'5", raised in Hell's Kitchen, and he looked very scary.
Yep.
He had a heart as big as all outdoors.
Yep.
He was so good to me, and he got me. I didn't have to explain. He just sat down, and it was not about him saying, I know all about you, which I can't stand. But the things he said showed such insight, and he said, you've got to go to Thunder in the Mountains. I went. You've got to go to Folsom. I went. He really took me by the hand, put a needle in my hand. You got to do this. Gave me the single tail, showed me, had me do it. He just taught me about confidence and ethics. And just by watching him, he was just so much fun and so nuts. I just adored him, and I miss him.
Yep.
I miss him.
He passed away a year ago.
Yeah.
And it was almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
It was when we had Kinky Summer. It'll be 2 years this summer. And he used to spend the weekends at my place.
That's right.
And he used to sleep on my couch, and he got very, very sick toward the end.
You were very good to him.
Yeah, his liver was failing.
Good guy.
Yep.
Great guy. Great people in this community.
Yep.
Just so vibrant, and we're so out there. We really are, and it's true. And I can remember for a minute being that person in the audience that screamed, "Oh my God!" And now I'm that person that people are saying, "Oh my God" about. But
okay, you saw the hooks.
yeah.
Okay. Did you ever have the hooks done on you?
No, never. I've never had the urge to do that. I've certainly had needles done. Every year I go to the Dance of Souls, which is part of the Southwest Leather Conference, which is an answer to one of your questions about other events in Arizona. I would recommend that highly. Southwest Leather Conference, it's in January. Last year I was MC and presenter, and it's a lot about the psychological, spiritual end of it, but don't think it's boring because of that. They have 2 insane play parties, and the people in Arizona they're off the charts the way they play. So anything you want, you can get out of it. And the Dance of Souls is very much patterned against, alongside what the Indians do. It's using it with purpose. It's not just shoving needles in just for the sake of shoving needles in. What, you're getting an epiphany?
Yes. On my birthday, we need to do a drumming here before.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant.
Why not?
Yeah.
Do it all.
Do it all.
In fact, it doesn't have to be just on one night. Just drag it out.
Drag it.
Yeah.
So,
And I have
Was
had
it-
needles. I've had needles done. And we have 9 needles, 9 needles, 12 gauge. No, that's not true, not 12 gauge, that would be huge. 19 gauge, and feathers attached to it, and bells, and anything that means something to me, like words like live, let go, or whatever. Make something out of that dance that means something to you. And I celebrate life, and I always celebrate the people, the spirits of those who have left. And Bruce was one of them, certainly
Yeah.
that year. Him and Robin, who was another icon in Phoenix, wonderful guy. So that's a celebration of life, and it's a wonderful event. I would definitely recommend that.
is that where you collared your submissive?
Yes.
Okay, let's
She's
talk
my
about
girl.
that. Your girl.
Yeah, she's not really a submissive
Okay, your
personality.
girl.
She's too bratty, and I love her. I was getting body work. It was a few days before the event, and I was really keyed up to being MC. I've never done that before, but I had the epiphany. It became very clear. She enjoyed that Dance of Souls so much the year before. She, who doesn't like dancing publicly, was dancing like a maniac, and I was dancing. I was jumping up and down.
You were dancing pretty crazy on Saturday night too. We had a ball.
Please, that was
or
nothing.
Friday night.
No, this